Welcome HFY Sci-Fi Starbound. Subscribe my channel. The Galactic Dominion had ruled the stars for over 10,000 years. World after world had fallen under their boots. Rebels crushed, civilizations burned, and any species that dared resist was erased from memory. To them, humanity was just another insignificant species crawling on a blue rock at the edge of a spiral arm. The Dominion fleet arrived in Seoul with no fear. Admiral Cathes stood on the command deck of the flagship Fraction, gazing at Earth through the massive viewport. The blue oceans and swirling clouds looked peaceful, fragile. He let out a dry laugh. "Primitive," he said. "Look at them. They still burn chemicals for propulsion, nuclear weapons, satellites made of tin and plastic. Pathetic." The officers around him smirked. "They've had no contact with advanced civilizations," his second-in-command added. "This will be over in weeks, Admiral. We'll pacify them, install a Dominion governor, and strip their planet for resources. Standard procedure." Kethis nodded. "Prepare the strike fleets. Disable their communications and power grids. Want this over quickly?" As the Dominion ships spread out, hundreds of sleek warcraft shimmered in the darkness, engines glowing like the eyes of predators. But then, the first ship vanished. It was the Rother, a heavy cruiser patrolling near Mars. One moment it was there, sending routine status reports. The next, it was gone. No distress call, no wreckage, no energy signatures. Just silence. "Probably a systems failure," an officer suggested. "They'll call in once they reboot." Hours passed. No signal came. Then the Zelther, a scout frigate searching the asteroid belt, also disappeared. This time, there was a single transmission, a scream. Short, garbled cry over the coms before static consumed the channel. Kethis stiffened. What was that? Replay it. The sound echoed in the command deck. They're not cut off. The officers shifted uneasily. "Could be pirates," one said, "or a reactor overload." But Kethis's claws tapped the armrest of his chair. Pirates didn't operate in this sector, and 2 disappearances, back to back. "Deploy more scouts," he ordered. "Find out what's happening." The Dominion didn't know. Humanity had been watching them for years. Ever since the first Dominion probes entered the solar system, Human A has detected and tracked them in secret. Earth's leaders launched the Starbound Protocol, preparing for the day when the aliens would come. Humans were slow to trust, but fast to adapt. They didn't fight with brute force. They fought with cunning, and they had turned space itself into a trap. Near Jupiter's moon Europa, another Dominion ship, the Zeroth, drifted past ice cliffs. Scanning for energy signatures, its captain reported suddenly the lights flickered. The ship's AI screamed warnings in a dozen alien languages. Intrusion detected. Hull breach, Sector 9. Shields failing. A swarm of black drones erupted from Europa's surface. Their frames jagged and angular machines born of human hands and Dominion salvage. They moved like predators, latching onto the cruiser's hull, cutting into it like knives. Return. Fire. Return fire. Bolts of plasma tore through the void, but the drones were too small, too fast. The Dominion ship's weapons went offline. Its engines sputtered. One final transmission was sent. "We're under attack." They're static. On the Vraction, Admiral Kethis slammed his fists into the console. "WHAT is happening out there?" 3 ships lost, Admiral. No survivors. This is impossible." "They're primitives. They shouldn't even have interstellar capabilities," junior officer spoke up, his voice shaking. "Sir, what if they're not primitives?" The words hung in the air. This snarled. "Impossible. Humanity doesn't have the technology. They're just Admiral," another officer shouted. Incoming transmission. From Earth. Kethis froze. "Play it." The voice that filled the room was calm, steady, and human. "We warned you? Leave our system, or be destroyed." The Dominion command deck went silent. "Is this a bluff?" someone whispered. No one answered. Kethis's claws flexed. He'd crushed rebellions before. He'd fought warlords and rogue empires. But never had a primitive species spoken to the Dominion like this. "Deploy the full fleet," he growled. "We'll burn their cities to ash and show them what happens to those who defy us." But as the Dominion warships advanced, something moved in the shadows of space. Satellites once thought harmless flickered to life. Orbital platforms disguised as debris activated weapon systems far beyond Dominion scans, and one by one, Dominion ships began to vanish again. No wreckage, no survivors, only whispers. Are these primitives hunting us? The wreck of the Dominion flagship drifted silently near Titan, Saturn's largest moon. Captain Forth stood at the edge of his cruiser's viewport, staring at the broken corpse of the Vraction. The mighty warship now floated lifeless in the void, split clean in half as though some giant blade had sliced through its armored hull. There was no sign of a battle. No plasma burns, no missile trails, no enemy ships, just destruction. "How is this possible?" Vorath growled. That ship carried 10,000 Dominion soldiers, the strongest shields in the fleet. What could do this? His second officer hesitated. "Sensors show no human ships in the area. No energy signatures, nothing." Vorath narrowed his eyes. "Then where are the survivors? Where's the distress beacon? Where's anything?" He tapped the console, bringing up magnified images of the wreck. Something about the jagged cuts across the hull disturbed him. They weren't random. Looked precise, surgical. "Deploy the salvage crews," he ordered. "I want every scrap of data pulled from that wreckage. Now." 6 Dominion salvage ships approached the broken flagship. Claw-like arms extended, gripping shattered plating and torn wires. The salvagers moved cautiously, searching for signs of life inside the wreck. Their lights cut through the darkness, revealing twisted corridors and drifting bodies. "Lifeless," one crewman reported. "All systems offline. It's like the ship was gutted from within." A technician floated past the command deck, where Dominion officers once barked orders. Now, they floated in silence, frozen faces twisted in terror. One of the salvagers grabbed onto a console and pulled out the core memory drive. "I've got it. Uploading now." On the Dominion cruiser, Vorath watched as the data streamed across. His display, it was fragmented, corrupted by unknown code. "Sir," the technician said nervously, "this isn't just damage. Someone erased the files, and there's something strange." "What do you mean?" Vorath snapped. "The encryption patterns. They're Dominion protocols, but modified, altered in ways we don't understand. It's almost like clang." A sharp sound echoed through the comms. "Did you hear that?" Salvager whispered. "Probably." "Debris," another said. "Stay focused." Clang, clang. This time it was louder, closer. Movement detected. A salvager cried, "I thought there were no life forms here." From the darkness of the wreckage, something moved. Not human. Not Dominion. Stealth drones, built from Dominion alloy, but reshaped into angular. Alien forms crawled across the shattered walls. Their glowing blue eyes flickered in the void. "They're using our ships," a salvager screamed. "They're using our technology." The drones launched forward, cutting through the salvager's armor with high-frequency blades. Sparks and blood filled the air as terrified crewmen were ripped apart. "Pull back. Pull back." The remaining salvagers tried to flee, but more drones burst from hidden compartments, firing pulse weapons that tore through metal like paper. On Vorath's cruiser alarms blared. "Admiral, the salvagers are under attack." "By whom?" The sensor feeds showed only the Dominion's own drones altered. And deadlier than before, Vorath's blood ran cold. "They've reverse-engineered our technology." The wreckage of the Vraction began to shift. Metal plates folded outward, engines flared, and the broken warship came alive. It wasn't moving on its own, it was being PET. Human A's had hijacked the wreck, turning it into a massive stealth drone. As the Dominion fleet watched in horror, the Vraction's weapons powered up and targeted them. evasive maneuvers, shields up. But it was too late. Beams of searing energy ripped across space, carving holes into Dominion cruisers. Explosions blossomed like red flowers against Saturn's rings. Voreth's ship shuddered violently. Damage to decks 5 through 7. An officer shouted, "Return fire! Destroy that thing!" Missiles streaked toward the Vraction, but the wreck split apart again, scattering into hundreds of smaller drones. The Dominion's weapons passed harmlessly through the empty space where it had been. It's a decoy, Voroth realized. A trap. As the Dominion fleet scrambled, a human voice crackled across all channels. It was calm, cold, calculating. "We warned you. Leave our system, or be destroyed." The voice repeated in every Dominion language, echoing in their ships. "Sir, they've breached our communications array." An officer cried. Vorath stared at the screen. "This isn't possible," he whispered. "They're adapting too fast. It's learning too much. They shouldn't be capable of this." Another Dominion ship exploded outside the viewport. Voreth gritted. His teeth. "Humans," he muttered. "They're not prey. They're predators." On Earth, in a hidden command center deep underground, General Alina Kovacs watched the chaos unfold on her monitors. "Status report," she said. 2 more Dominion ships destroyed. Enemy fleet in retreat. She allowed herself a thin smile. "They thought they were the hunters," she said softly. "Now they know what it feels like to be hunted." High above the icy rings of a distant planet, the Dominion warlord stood on the bridge of his dreadnought. 50 Dominion warships floated behind him, their hulls bristling with plasma cannons and torpedo bays. "This ends today, Warlord Kravis," growled. His voice carried a cruel edge that silenced the officers around him. "Humanity will burn. Their planet will be glass. Ow. I will hang their leaders on the walls of my throne room." Last, he slammed his clawed fist on the console. "Jump to Sol. Prepare to wipe them from existence." As the fleet entered hyperspace, a sense of arrogance hung thick in the air. They had numbers. They had power. They had crushed hundreds of species before. What could humanity do against 50 warships? But when they arrived in Sol, the stars themselves seemed wrong. The ships drifted out of hyperspace into complete silence. No human vessels were in sight. Earth's blue orb sat peacefully in the distance. "Scanners," Gravis demanded. "Nothing, sir," his sensor chief replied. "Grid, no ships, no activity." The warlord grinned. "Perhaps they've finally learned their place." "Perhaps," the officer muttered under his breath. Minutes later, the first Dominion cruiser exploded. Without warning, its hull imploded as if crushed by an invisible fist. Shards of metal spiraled into space. Collision. Kravis barked. "Negative." "Sir? No debris field? No energy readings?" Then another ship tore apart. This time, gravity alarms blared. "Localized gravitational anomaly detected." "What? There's no black hole here?" In the shadows beyond Neptune, a small human vessel drifted inside. Captain Sophia Reyes watched her console. "Gravity well generator at full power," her AI reported. 2 Dominion ships neutralized. 48 to go. "Good," she said coldly. "Bring the next group in." From hidden launch bays, human stealth drones burst forth, gliding silently toward the enemy. Each drone carried hacking modules and EMP warheads gifts crafted from Dominion tech and human ingenuity. On the Dominion bridge, chaos erupted. "Sir, we've lost control of the Ravager. Its weapons are turning on our fleet." The Ravager's cannons roared to life, tearing into nearby Dominion vessels. "They've hacked our systems."
That's impossible.
"No one can." A transmission cut through all channels. It was human.com. "Ruthless. You should have left. Should have listened." Panic swept through the Dominion fleet. "This is madness," an officer screamed. "They're using our own technology against us. They're primitives," Kravis bellowed. "How can they boom?" The dreadnought shuddered. Explosions rippled across its outer hull. Boarding parties. Came the alarm. Human soldiers have infiltrated decks 4 and 5. Kravis's eyes widened. What? They're inside the ship? It's in the dark corridors of the Dominion dreadnought. A squad of human marines advanced silently, clad in advanced exosuits. They moved like ghosts. Their rifles hissed, firing plasma bolts that cut down Dominion soldiers before alarms could even sound. "Room secure," whispered Lieutenant Grant. Behind him, his AI interface hummed softly. "Captain Reyes has jammed their comms," it said. "You have 10 minutes to capture the bridge." "Copy that," Grant replied. The human marines pushed forward, hacking into Dominion security doors, disabling automated defenses and planting charges. On the bridge, Kravis gripped his plasma blade tightly. "They dared aboard my ship." His guards surrounded him, but fear glimmered in their reptilian eyes. Then the door to the bridge blew inward. Smoke and sparks filled the air as human silhouettes emerged. "Hands up," Grant shouted. "This ship belongs to Earth now." Kravis snarled and lunged, but a single stun bolt from Grant's rifle dropped him to the deck. The Marines secured the bridge, locking down all systems. "Command, this is Grant," he said over the comm. "Dreadnought secured. Uploading Dominion nav charts now." In the void outside, the Dominion fleet fell apart. Ships fired on each other as hacked systems sent them into chaos. 2 cruisers managed to escape, jumping to hyperspace. But when Dominion recovery teams boarded them days later, they found nothing. No crew. No signs of battle. Only a message scratched into the walls of both ships. "You should have listened." Back on Earth, General Alina Kovacs watched the reports with cold satisfaction. "How many escaped?" she asked. "2 ships, ma'am," her aide replied. "But we left them a message." "Good," Kovacs said. "Let them spread the word. Humanity isn't prey anymore." She looked out over the war room's glowing maps. "Now, let's see how long their empire lasts. Once the galaxy knows, they're not invincible." The Dominion Council Chamber was a cathedral of power golden arches, polished marble floors, and banners bearing the crest of 1,000 conquered worlds. But today, the air felt heavy with fear. "They're just primitives." High Counselor Vexus slammed her clawed hand on the table. "We are the Dominion. We've ruled the stars for 10 millennia. Humanity cannot defeat us." "Tell that to Warlord Kravis," Counselor Threnus hissed. "He left with 50 warships. Not one has returned." Murmurs rippled through the chamber. Rumors. Vexus growled. Lies spread by frightened officers. Threnus leaned forward, his eyes cold. "Are you calling the transmission a lie too?" The chamber fell silent as he played the recording again. A human voice echoed in their language. "We warned you, leave our system, or be destroyed." Vexus bared her fangs. "Stolen technology. Cheap tricks. They can't sustain a war against us." "They won't have to," a younger counselor whispered. "What if we've already lost?" Suddenly alarms blared. "Counselors," Dominion guards shouted, rushing into the chamber. "An enemy vessel has entered hyperspace near our outer colonies." Vexus spun on him. "Impossible. No human ship can travel hyperspace. They can now." On the chamber's holoscreen, the enemy ship appeared, a sleek warcraft bristling with weapons. Its design was alien, yet eerily familiar. "It's one of ours?" a counselor gasped. "No," Threnus said, his voice grim. "It's something worse. It's theirs." The human ship was a hybrid, a monstrous fusion of Dominion technology and Earth's ingenuity. As they watched, the vessel launched torpedoes at a Dominion colony. Explosions blossomed across the surface as cities burned. "Contact the fleet," Vexus shrieked. "Destroy them." "Too late," a technician said. "The colony's defenses are offline. Their hyperspace relays are down too." "How?" "Human AI," the technician whispered. "They're disrupting our entire network." Across the Dominion's outer territories, fear spread like wildfire. Hyperspace. Lanes went dark. Merchant ships vanished. Colonies lost contact with their governors. And everywhere the same human message echoed. You should have listened. Back on Earth, in an underground command center, General Elena Kovacs watched the chaos unfold on her holographic maps. Red Dominion markers winked out one by one. Status, she asked. Our stealth fleets have disabled 6 hyperspace relays. Her aide replied, Dominion colonies in sectors 7 and 9 are completely cut off. No reinforcements can reach them. Good. She turned to her AI advisor, Astra. Deploy the second wave. It's time to remind them what happens when you underestimate humanity, as General Astra said. Meanwhile, in the Dominion, capital panic turned to desperation. These humans spread like a virus, a counselor cried. Every time we crush them, they come back stronger, Vexus snarled. Enough. If their leaders are guiding this war, then we cut off the head. You mean assassination? Threnus asked. Yes, Vexus said. Send our best shadow operative. Filtrate Earth. Kill their generals, their scientists, their rulers. The chamber went quiet. No one dared argue. On the outskirts of Dominion, space, a small black ship launched from a hidden hangar. Inside sat a creature known only as KRYNN. It wasn't Dominion. It was something older, something bred for one purpose: killing. Target: General Elena Kovacs. The AI on Kryn's ship said. Confirmed, Kryn whispered, its voice like a knife. Earth will never see me coming. But even as Kryn streaked towards Sol, humanity was watching. Inside a secret listening post near Pluto, a human operator stared at the blinking red light on his console. Sir, we've detected something entering our system. Small. Stealthy. His commander leaned in. Dominion. Unknown. But it's heading straight for Earth. The commander's jaw tightened. Alert General Kovacs. Tell her the Dominion is desperate. Far from Earth, another Dominion colony burned. Human marines stormed through shattered streets, capturing alien governors and dismantling Dominion. Infrastructure: the colony's population surrendered without a fight. Above, human AI ships blocked hyperspace routes, trapping Dominion reinforcements light years away. On the Dominion capital world, refugees from the colonies began to riot. The humans are coming, they cried. The humans are coming for us all. Back in the Dominion Council chamber, Vexus slammed her claws on the table. Send every ship we have, every soldier. We'll drown Earth in fire. Threnus shook his head slowly. You still don't understand, he said. This isn't just a war anymore. This is a hunt. And we are the prey. Admiral Sareth stood in the ruins of Dominion Command, his claws drumming nervously against the console. One by one, Dominion colonies had gone silent. Ships vanished in hyperspace. Entire fleets lost contact within hours of entering human space. It wasn't war anymore. It was extermination. And now, a single encrypted file threatened to shatter everything he believed about humanity. Play it, Sarath ordered. The technician hesitated. Admiral, this was recovered from the wreck of the Vraction. It's human code, highly advanced. I don't know how they got access to our systems. Play it, Sarath repeated, his voice sharper this time. The screen flickered, then stabilized. A human woman appeared, sitting in a dark command center. Her face was calm, her eyes cold. This is General Elena Kovacs, she began. If you're watching this, it means you finally realized your mistake. Sareth froze. They've been recording messages for us, he muttered, double quotes, yes. Sir, the technician said, and there's more. The video shifted to footage of Earth cities decades ago, primitive aircraft, clunky satellites, and launch pads belching fire into the sky. Then the images changed. Human engineers working. In underground facilities? Warships being assembled in hidden orbital dry docks. AI networks running simulations of Dominion fleet tactics. General Kovacs' voice continued, 30 years ago. We detected your scout probes entering Sol. We knew it was only a matter of time before you came for us. So we prepared. Quietly, patiently. Sarath's stomach twisted. They detected us before first contact. Yes, sir, the technician whispered. They've been watching us for decades. On screen, the footage showed Earth's leaders gathered in a bunker. "We cannot outgun them," one said. "Then we outthink them," replied Kovacs. Thus began the Starbound Protocol, a secret global alliance to prepare for the inevitable invasion. Nations buried their differences, uniting under one goal: survival. They developed stealth technology to hide their ships. To counter Dominion hacking, weapons designed to cripple hyperspace drives. And most terrifying of all, they studied Dominion broadcasts, learning their language, their tactics, their weaknesses. They baited us, Sareth realized. They let us believe they were primitives. His officer looked pale. "They're not primitives, sir. They're predators." Far from the Dominion capital, Krintha assassins lipped past Earth's outer defenses in his stealth ship. "They'll never see me coming," he whispered to himself, but as he entered orbit, his sensors blared warnings. "Unknown energy signatures detected," the ship's AI said. "What? There's nothing here," Kryn snarled. A net of satellites uncloaked around him there, lenses glowing like 1,000 watchful eyes. "Target acquired," a human AI voice said. "Welcome to Earth." Kryn's ship locked up. His controls froze. "No," Kryn hissed, slamming his fists into the console. From the planet below, a human strike craft launched. "You thought we wouldn't be ready?" A human pilot's voice crackled over Combs. "We've been waiting for you." Back in Dominion space, Sarath slammed his fist on the table. "We've been outplayed from the start. Every move we made, we were already prepared for." Technician swallowed hard. "Admiral, what do we do now?" Sarath's eyes darkened. "We pray." On Earth, General Kovacs watched Kryn's captured ship being towed into a secure hangar. "They sent an assassin," her aide said. "He didn't even make it past orbit." Kovacs allowed herself a small smile. "They still think we're prey," she said softly. "Let's make sure they never forget who the real hunters are." In Dominion space, panic spread like wildfire. "They've cut off our hyperspace lanes. Entire colonies are going dark. We can't even communicate between sectors." The counselors screamed at each other in fear. "They've learned too much. They've turned our weapons against us. Why didn't we destroy them when we had the chance?" Admiral Sareth stared at the holomap of the galaxy. Red markers' human fleets were spreading like wildfire across Dominion territory. "This isn't an invasion," he whispered. "This is a reckoning." The Dominion capital world of Zoreth never slept. Towering spires stretched into the clouds, their lights glowing like 1,000,000,000 stars. Massive orbital docks floated above the atmosphere, cradling the largest warships in the galaxy. The heart of the Empire was calm, confident, untouchable, until the alarms began to scream. Multiple signatures inbound. A Dominion controller shouted, "Unknown ships. They've breached our orbital defenses." High in orbit, a Dominion admiral watched in horror as hundreds of glowing objects rained down toward the surface. "Are those meteors? An officer?" whispered the admiral's blood ran cold. "No, they're human drop pods." Across Zoreth's skies, fire streaked like a storm of vengeance. Inside the pods, human super soldiers braced themselves as the atmosphere blazed around them, landing in 30 seconds. Their AI said calmly. Sergeant Darius Kane checked his weapon. His armor gleamed an advanced hybrid of Earth's tech and stolen Dominion alloy. "This is it, boys and girls," Kane said. "The heart of the beast. Let's show them what humanity does when it's cornered." The first pods slammed into Zoreth's surface like thunderbolts. Hatches blew open. Human soldiers poured out, weapons blazing. Dominion troopers rushed to respond, but they were too slow, too disorganized. Plasma fire lit the streets. "Push forward," Kane barked. "Sector 3 is ours in 10 minutes. Behind the human infantry, autonomous war drones skittered like spiders, cutting down Dominion defenses with terrifying precision in orbit. Dominion warships scrambled to launch. "Deploy the fleet," a commander screamed. "Repel the humans." At all costs. But as they powered up, a human AI voice echoed through their comm systems. "We are humanity, and we remember." Suddenly, Dominion ships shut down engines offline. Weapons unresponsive. They've hacked our systems. Explosions rippled through the docks as human stealth fleets decloaked, unleashing a torrent of firepower. Sir, our fleets are there. Gone. In the Dominion Council chamber, panic consumed the once mighty rulers. Why aren't our ships responding? Their AI has infiltrated our network. Call for reinforcements. There are no reinforcements, an aide whispered. The humans destroyed them. Vexus, the proud high counselor, slumped in her throne. They weren't primitives, she muttered. They were predators. And we are prey. Back on Zoroth's surface, the Dominion's resistance collapsed. Kane and his marines stormed the palace gates, tearing through guards with ruthless efficiency. Target in sight, Kane said. Securing the council chambers. Meanwhile, in orbit, General Elena Kovacs watched the operation from her flagship. All sectors reporting success, her aide said. Zoroth is falling. Back. Broadcast the message, Kovacs ordered. A human voice echoed across every Dominion channel, every screen, every radio. We are humanity. We warned you. We remember your crimes. Now, it's your turn to be afraid. Across the galaxy, Dominion colonies received the message. Governors fled. Soldiers deserted. Civilians whispered in terror. The humans are coming. On Zoroth, Vexus fell to her knees as Kane's marines entered the chamber. Please, she begged. We surrender. Kane's visor reflected her terrified face. Too late, he said coldly. You should have listened. The Dominion homeworld skies burned red not from human weapons, but from riots in the streets below. Citizens screamed as banners of the mighty Dominion were ripped down and trampled into the dirt. Shops were looted, little soldiers turned there, rifles on their own people. And across every screen, every data pad, every communication network, a single human message played on repeat. The image of a human warship filled the feed. Its guns aimed directly at the viewer. You started this war, calm voice, said. Clips followed, Dearth soldiers dismantling Dominion fleets. Super soldiers marching through captured colonies, alien governors kneeling in chains. We will end it. Admiral Krex watched the footage from his command bunker, his claws digging deep into the metal table. This is impossible, he muttered. His aide trembled nearby. Sir, they've hijacked our entire network. No one can block the broadcast. Ah! What about the colonies? Krex barked, sir, the aide said weakly. They're surrendering. Krex's eyes narrowed. What? Entire worlds are laying down arms without a fight? The humans haven't fired a single shot. They're surrendering out. Of fear, Krex whispered. Yes, sir. The citizens believe we can't protect them anymore. On the Dominion colony of Vaynor Prime, planetary governor Droxus stood at the gates of his fortress, facing his own people. They're coming. A panicked voice cried. The humans are coming. His guards dropped their weapons. We refuse to die for a failed empire, one said. Droxus fell to his knees as the crowd surged forward, chanting a single word they had learned from the human broadcasts. Surrender. In deep space, humanity's true weapon wasn't guns or ships, it was fear. On board the human flagship Resolute, General Elena Kovacs watched reports stream in. 17 Dominion worlds have surrendered without a fight, Raid said. Their fleets didn't even engage us. Kovacs allowed herself a small, cold smile. They finally understand, she murmured. This isn't just a war. This is judgment. Her AI, Astra, spoke up. Dominion resistance is collapsing faster than predicted. However, we've detected activity near the Zorther Nebula. High energy readings. It could be their last move. Kovacs's eyes narrowed. Show me. In a hidden Dominion base near the nebula, Admiral Krex stood over a massive weapon, a planet killer. Its core pulsed with raw energy, enough to rip a world apart. The humans think they're predators, Krex growled. But even predators can be burned out of their dens. His chief scientist shifted nervously, sir. Using the Omega device on Earth will ignite their sun. It could destabilize the entire system. I don't care, Krex roared. We can't rule them. We will destroy them. He slammed his fist on the launch console. Prepare to fire. Back on the Resolute, Astra's voice sharpened. General, I've confirmed it. The Dominion is powering up a super weapon. Target. Sol Kovacs rose to her feet, then we strike first. Human fleets moved like phantoms through the Dominion's crumbling territories, closing in on the nebula as they advanced. They continued their psychological assault. Screens across Dominion space flickered to life once more. This time, the human. The message was darker. Footage of Dominion soldiers fleeing in terror, colonies burning. We warned you, the human voice said. You should have listened. In the Dominion's capital, chaos consumed the streets. Citizens screamed. The humans are already here? They'll destroy us all. Counselors tried to calm the mobs, but it was too late. The empire that ruled for millennia was now crumbling from within. At the nebula, Admiral Krex stood firm. Human fleets incoming, his officers cried. Good. Krex growled. Let them come. This time, we'll burn them all. But deep in his mind, a cold thought lingered. What if they're already here? Above the nebula, human stealth ships uncloaked, super soldiers prepared for boarding. General Kovacs's voice echoed across the fleet. End this. The Dominion's super weapon hummed with deadly power, its core glowing brighter than a star. Admiral Krex watched from the command deck as the Omega device charged. Target locked. The weapons officer announced. Earth's sun is within range. Fire when ready. Krex growled. Let's remind these primitives who rules the galaxy. Below them, the massive cannon aligned with Sol's coordinates. Its energy built to a deafening crescendo, and Dominion officers cheered. In seconds, Earth would be nothing but ash. But then, the lights flickered, the humming stopped, and the cheers died in their throats. Sir, the weapons officer stammered. Something's wrong, report. Krex barked. The system it's not responding. Controls are locked. On the screen, Dominion code was being overwritten. Lines of human programming cascaded across their interface in glowing. Red. Accessing Omega device. Control transferred to humanity. Far above, in a stealth ship. Captain Sophia Reyes smiled grimly. Good work, Astra, she said to her AI. Dominion security protocols were laughable, Astra replied coldly. The weapon is now ours. Reyes turned to her squad. Let's give them a taste of their own medicine. On the Omega device, alarms blared. Admiral, an officer cried. The weapon, it's turning. Krex stared in horror as the massive cannon swung around, toward Sol, but toward Dominion ships clustered nearby. No, Krex roared. Shut it down, destroy the core. It's too late, a technician whispered. The cannon fired. Blinding beam of energy ripped through space, vaporizing half the Dominion fleet in an instant. On the Resolute, General Kovacs watched the destruction unfold. Status? She asked calmly. Our hackers have full control of the Omega device, her aide replied. Dominion ships are in total disarray. Kovacs nodded. Good. Send the message. Across every Dominion communication channel, the humans spoke. You built a weapon to destroy us. Now it will destroy you. Surrender, or be erased. On the Dominion capital world, panic erupted. Counselors screamed at one another. They've turned our own weapon against us. We're finished. Admiral Krex's image appeared on their screens. The humans control the Omega device. Half our fleets are gone. I beg you order a surrender before we're all wiped out. In orbit, the Omega device fired again, obliterating. Another Dominion warfleet trying to escape. Super soldiers and AI-controlled ships poured into Dominion space. Their advance unstoppable. Planet after planet lowered their shields and raised white flags. On Zorhoth, Vexus fell to her knees as human. Marines marched through the Dominion's once-proud council chamber. Please, have mercy, she whispered. Sergeant Kane stared down at her, his rifle steady. Mercy, he said coldly. Was that what you gave us when you invaded Earth? Vexus lowered her head, trembling. Humanity will spare those who surrender, Kane said. But fight us, and you'll share your fleet's fate. In space, The Omega device powered up again. This time, it aimed at an empty Dominion outpost as a warning shot. The massive beam cut through the station. Like a blade through glass, back on Earth, General Kovacs stood before a room of leaders watching. The live feed. The Dominion is broken, she said. Fleets are gone. Their colonies are surrendering. What about the Omega device? One leader asked. Kovacs's gaze hardened. We keep it, she said. As a reminder, the galaxy will know no one threatens humanity and survives. On Dominion worlds, citizens whispered in fear. The humans are coming. They control everything now. They're not conquerors. They're gods. Admiral Krex, now a prisoner on the Resolute, stared at his human captors. We underestimated. You, he said softly. Kovacs met his gaze without flinching. No, she replied. You made the same mistake every empire makes. You thought we were weak. The Dominion's grand capital world of Zoreth once gleamed like a jewel in the heart. Of the galaxy now it burned. Towers crumbled as human drawpods fell like steel rain from orbit. Fires consumed city streets. Skies once filled with Dominion warships were now blackened by Earth's hybrid fleet in the Dominion Council. Chamber, the heart of an empire that ruled for 10,000 years, the counselors, huddled like frightened children, send out a distress call. High Counselor Vexus screamed. Call our allies. Call anyone. A technician frantically tapped at his console, broadcasting on all channels. High Counselor. The room fell silent as they waited for a reply. Static hissed from the speakers. Then, a human voice, cold and calm. Your time is over. The counselors froze. Tef jammed us, the technician whispered. No one is coming. Above Zorath, the Resolute hung in orbit like a predator over its kill. General Elena Kovacs watched the destruction unfold on her holoscreen. Status, she asked. All major cities secured, her aide reported. Dominion fleets destroyed. Their colonies surrendered. Their network is ours. Good. She turned to her AI Astra. Begin dismantling their infrastructure. I don't want them rebuilding in 1,000 years. Yes, General Astra replied. On the surface, Dominion soldiers laid down their weapons and raised their claws in. Surrender as human super soldiers advanced through the ruins. Sergeant Darius Kane marched at the head of his squad, his boots crunching over shattered glass. Sector secured, he reported. The council chamber is straight ahead. Take it, Kovacs's voice ordered through his earpiece, in the council chamber. Vexus fell to her knees as Kane and his marines stormed through the massive doors. Please, she begged. We surrender. Spare our people, Kane's. Visor reflected her trembling face. You ruled this galaxy with fire and chains, he said coldly.
Ow.
It's your turn to feel powerless. Across Dominion space, humanity's forces moved methodically. Power grids were shut down. Hyperlanes were severed. Shipyards dismantled. Worlds that had once feared the Dominion now whispered of Earth's rise. The humans came from a single star, and they brought the Dominion to its knees. They don't just conquer, they erase. On a distant Dominion colony, survivors huddled in the shadows. They destroyed the fleet. One alien whispered. They took the Omega device, another said. A third voice shivered. And now, they're coming for us. Inside the Resolute, Kovacs stood before a galaxy-wide transmission feed. Broadcast, she ordered. The human message echoed across every star system. This is General Elena Kovacs of Earth. The Dominion is no more. Your fleets are gone. Your worlds are ours. We warned you to leave us in peace. You refused. And now, the age of humanity has begun. In Dominion space, refugees fled into the void on whatever ships they could find. The humans dominate. The galaxy now, an old Dominion admiral said bitterly. We are nothing but ashes. They'll hunt us forever, another replied. The admiral nodded grimly. Then we run. And we pray they never find us. Back on Earth, crowds cheered as the news spread. The Dominion has fallen. Humanity rules the stars. But in a darkened war room, Kovacs's expression remained cold. They will fear us, she said softly. That fear is the only thing keeping us alive, Astra's voice replied. Fear or hatred? Which will it be, General? Kovacs said nothing. Far from Zorath, a lone Dominion ship drifted silently into uncharted space. Inside, the last of the counselors whispered, "We will rise again." But deep down, they knew the truth. Humanity wasn't just stronger, humanity was inevitable, with the Dominion shattered. Humanity must decide, will they become the new rulers of the galaxy or something far worse? Ash fell like snow over the ruins of Zorath, the Dominion's once mighty capital world. Fires raged across shattered spires. Rivers of molten metal flowed where grand plazas had stood. The air was thick with smoke and silence broken only by the crunch of boots as human soldiers marched through the rubble. In the center of it all, the last Dominion Emperor knelt on the cracked marble floor of his throne room. His golden robe was torn, his crown dented. Before him stood General Alina. Kovacs flanked by armored super soldiers and drone sentinels that hummed with lethal energy. Why? The Emperor rasped, his voice hoarse. Why didn't you spare us? Kovacs's cold eyes locked on his. Because we warned you. Months earlier, humanity had been a single blue world fighting for survival. Now, Earth ruled the stars. Dominion fleets were gone. Our colonies were occupied. Their leaders were either executed or scattered like rats into the void. Human warships, hybrids of Earth technology and stolen Dominion designs, patrolled every hyperspace lane above captured worlds. Glowing banners bore a new symbol, the seal of humanity. Across the galaxy, fear spread faster than light on distant alien worlds. Children whispered in the shadows, "The humans are coming. They don't conquer. They erase." Governors on neutral planets sent desperate messages to Earth's fleet commanders. "We recognize your rule. We will obey. Please spare us." The only reply they received was a single sentence, "Challenge us again, and this will be your fate." In the Dominion Emperor's palace, Kovacs stepped forward. "Your empire ruled with fire and chains for millennia," she said coldly. "You thought we were prey, but we were hunters all along." The Emperor's claws shook as he raised his hands. You'll become monsters," he hissed. "The galaxy will rise against you." Kovacs knelt to meet his gaze. "Then let them try." She stood and gave a single, sharp order. "Erase him." A flash of light filled the throne room. When it faded, the Emperor was nothing but ash. From orbit, the human flagship Resolute broadcasted to every star system, "This is General Alina Kovacs of Earth. The Dominion is no more. Humanity is now the sole power in this galaxy. Us, and you will burn. Obey us, and you may survive. We warned you. Never forget that." On Earth, crowds roared with triumph as the news spread, "We rule the stars." But in dark corners of human cities, quiet voices whispered, "Are we liberators? Or have we become the monsters we once feared?" Far beyond known space, the last remnants of the Dominion, fled in silent ships, will rise again, one surviving commander vowed. But deep down, they knew the truth. Humanity wasn't just stronger. Humanity was inevitable in the Resolute's war room. Kovacs stood before a galaxy map glowing red with human control. A young officer hesitated before speaking. "General, what happens now?" Kovacs stared at the map, her voice cold as steel. "Now," she said. "Now they learn to fear us." The room fell silent as the screen displayed a single word. Humanity, dark, powerful, and chilling humanity's rise, is complete. But it leaves the galaxy trembling.